Loneliness is a growing problem for many people in today's world, and yet it's often overlooked and misunderstood. We're so busy trying to stay connected with the people around us that it can be easy to forget about the dangers of loneliness. The truth is that loneliness can have a profound impact on our physical and mental health. And it's important to recognize the signs and symptoms of loneliness and the measures we can take to prevent it. In this video, we'll be looking at the causes and effects of loneliness, as well as some of the ways we can stay connected to ourselves and to others. We'll also be highlighting some of the most effective ways to combat loneliness and stay connected. 1. Defining loneliness and its dangers. From a young age, we have been taught to reach out and make connections with those around us. However, what many people fail to understand is the dangers of loneliness and its ability to affect our mental, emotional, and physical health. Being alone can have devastating effects on our well-being, and yet it is still a subject rarely discussed. By understanding the dangers of loneliness, we can work to protect ourselves and those around us. So let's begin by uncovering the truth and impact of this often overlooked issue. 2. The physical effects of loneliness. How it can impact your health. Loneliness is a very real and devastating issue that many people struggle with. Unfortunately, it's not taken as seriously as it should be, leading many people to overlook the physical effects it can have on your health. Research has shown that loneliness can lead to a wide range of physical illnesses, from depression and anxiety to stroke and heart disease. Even if you feel like you have a strong support system, the physical effects of loneliness can still be felt. When feeling lonely, your body produces stress hormones that can have a negative effect on your physical health. Studies have found that having a strong social network can act as a buffer, helping to protect people from the physical effects of loneliness. Since loneliness can have such a profound effect on physical health, it's important to recognize and address it if you're feeling lonely. Additionally, research has found that people who are socially isolated are more likely to suffer from insomnia and fatigue, which can further exacerbate physical health issues. 3. The mental health effects of loneliness. How it can impact your mental health. Loneliness is a feeling of emptiness, disconnection, and an overall sense of being alone. Although it is a normal part of the human experience, too much loneliness can have a major impact on our mental health. Research has found that loneliness can be associated with a variety of mental health issues, including depression and anxiety. One of the most significant mental health effects of loneliness is an increased risk of depression. People who feel lonely are at a greater risk of developing depression due to the overwhelming feeling of sadness that comes with loneliness. Additionally, research has found that people who are lonely are more likely to ruminate on negative events and feelings, which can worsen their depression symptoms. When people are feeling lonely, they may become overwhelmed with negative thoughts and worries, which can lead to increased levels of stress and anxiety. People who are lonely may be less likely to engage in meaningful activities and may have difficulty focusing on and engaging in tasks. If you find yourself feeling lonely, it is important to reach out and connect with supportive people, practice self-care activities, and seek professional help if needed. 4. Social isolation and its effects. How loneliness can impact your social life. Loneliness is a feeling that is far more detrimental than most people realize. Though it may seem like a minor problem, it can have serious consequences for both mental and physical health. Social isolation, or the lack of meaningful connections with others, has been linked to an increased risk for depression, anxiety, and even premature death. The effects of loneliness can be especially pronounced in older adults, who are more likely to experience chronic isolation due to retirement, widowhood, and other life changes. Loneliness can cause a person to withdraw from activities, leading to further isolation, which can make it harder for them to maintain close relationships. It's important to remember that loneliness is a common problem and that there are ways to combat it. Taking part in community events, joining a support group, or volunteering your time can also help. Additionally, seeking professional help if needed is important. With the right help and support, it is possible to overcome loneliness and lead a healthy and fulfilling life. 5. The impact of loneliness on your overall quality of life. Loneliness can have a significant impact on our overall quality of life. It can lead to physical and mental health issues, such as depression, anxiety, decreased cognitive function, and increased risk of heart disease, stroke, and other chronic illnesses. When we are feeling lonely, we can feel like there's no one to turn to, and our sense of judgment can be clouded. We can also be more likely to engage in risky behaviors to cope with our loneliness, such as drinking and using drugs. Loneliness can also cause us to become more vulnerable to manipulation and exploitation, which can lead to further feelings of isolation and disconnection. We can become more susceptible to accepting unhealthy relationships or situations and can be less likely to speak up for ourselves or take action to protect ourselves. We can start to doubt our value and worth, which can lead to further feelings of loneliness and isolation, creating a vicious cycle of disconnectedness. It's important to remember that loneliness is a normal feeling, but it's important to know the signs and how it can affect our overall quality of life. 6. Coping with loneliness. Strategies for managing loneliness and its effects. Loneliness is an emotional state that can have a significant impact on our mental and physical health. It can leave us feeling empty and isolated, and can even lead to feelings of depression or anxiety. Unfortunately, many people don't fully understand the dangers of loneliness and how to cope with it. One of the most effective strategies for managing loneliness is to build a strong social support network. This can mean reaching out to family and friends and reconnecting with people who have been out of contact for a while. It can also involve joining social groups, either online or in person, that can provide a sense of belonging and connection. In addition to building strong social connections, it can be helpful to focus on personal activities that bring joy and help to boost mood. This can include exercise, hobbies, creative pursuits, and other leisure activities. In addition, mindfulness and meditation can be effective tools for managing loneliness. It is important to be gentle with ourselves and practice self-compassion, rather than trying to push away our feelings of loneliness. Finally, it is important to recognize that loneliness is a normal emotion that we all experience at times.